Hi, welcome to a stream. We're starting right at 3:31, so we're a minute late. We're going to blame Kim for that.
Ah, he's not blaming me?
What?
Well, I don't know.
He always blames me. He says he can't get me out of
Well,
my
it's
dressing room.
share the love, right? Kim's, Kim hasn't been on a stream much. You've been on a couple. You come by twice.
I do cameos.
And she's
But-
a floating head one.
She was a floating head once,
was
which was
pretty
kind of cool. We should have done that for Halloween, though. That would have been great.
That would have been pretty good.
And now we have green Spark shirts.
We do.
Oh,
So,
Wait, so
Spark
be
shirt.
floating and all you'd see is
That's
Project
right.
Spark in the air? We're going to have to try that. We're going to be getting in a new green screen. We're all pitching our pennies together to buy one. So my name's Mike Lascombe, the community manager for Team Dakota. I'm here with Henry Sturchy, who is the creative director, and Kim McAuliffe, who is a senior game designer, right?
That's correct.
And we're here to talk about Project Spark. We're going to focus on Crossroads, which is one of the areas of Project Spark, one of the things that we've done to kind of let everybody get in and be able to create right away. I know a lot of the streams we focus on kind of the more in-depth stuff, some of the brains and things like that. And I think that's a lot because our kind of hardcore folks are really into that and want to see it. But I don't want people to get the idea that you really need to do all that to create, because it can be overwhelming at first, at least when you first see it and don't try it. So Crossroads is a way that you can get in and shows you how to very easily go and build something, and then you can do it. So right now Henry's kind of doing his little intro, and if you notice, I don't see a U-shaped hill.
No, I'm on something completely different. Not even close to normal. So, Project Spark is an open world sandbox where you can play, create, share things with the world, pretty much make your imagination come to life. Make your own games, movies, stories, and more. It'll be available on Windows 8.1, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and we have a beta coming very, very soon, hopefully anytime now. So you can see here I can, in real-time 3D, I can change and I can sculpt the terrain. I can go ahead and I can paint the terrain. I can use this paint, we call it sticky mode, but it automatically wraps around the surfaces. It's also contextual, so it paints the sides a different color than it does the tops and the bottoms. And I'm able to use what we call our biome brush to just fill in our world very quickly. Here I'm using an Xbox 360 controller on our Windows build, and our biome brush allows us to use different sizes, so I can put in bigger trees, smaller trees, and all types of cool stuff. I can also go ahead and go in, aside from just sculpting the world, and I can just go ahead and put down objects and things really quickly, and they all have sort of default behaviors and AI and brains, and you can go into those things and change them and remix them and manipulate them and do all different things to them. So you can see here I made this little world, and I can just hop right in and test. My little character here has a default brain. He can swim, he can jump, he can run, he can dodge, walk over this little bridge. All of these objects sort of behave as you expect, but if you want, you can go ahead and go into them, and you can do different things to them. So I'm going to go into this bridge's brain, and you can see here there's a when and a do side. This is our visual programming language that we can do. So I'm going to tell this bridge that when it detects the player, I want it to do something. So I'm going to go to do, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I want it to jump. And you can see very easily I can just add something and it'll give me suggestions. So I can say different types of movement properties on top of that and all those types of things. So let's see what happens now when the bridge detects my player. You may or may not jump. Let's see. And oh, why didn't it work? Boo! Did it just jump? Oh, there it is. Now it's detecting me. Whoa! So now the bridge is jumping. I wasn't on the bridge enough for it to detect me. So I can make the detection sensor much bigger or smaller. But basically the bridge has a range, it has a trigger volume, and it has a C volume, and it can do all types of fun stuff. So that's our quick intro to Project Spark. One of the really cool things that we've showed a bunch of times is that you can create your own animations and bring them to life, your own facial expressions and voice with Xbox One and Kinect, and you can make your own little movies and cinematics. So I'm going to kick off Crossroads and let Kim give people some backstory on what Crossroads is.
Kim, can you talk a little bit about what you do? They're just kind of asking what you do on the team.
Real quick, before people say something, the audio here is being worked on. The voiceover is placeholder. It's all being worked on, so just keep that stuff in mind. We're a work in progress.
Okay, so first you wanted to hear about what I do.
Yeah.
And then Crossroads. Okay, so I'm one of the game designers on Team Dakota working on Project Spark. I have a lot to do with Crossroads, which we're about to take a look at, and also the tutorial system. That's pretty much it.
Well, you know, you could have upsold that. And,
Yeah.
You know, I would have said it differently. You know,
That's right.
the new user experience and blah blah
That's
blah,
true.
and all these different words that would have said the exact same thing, but people would be like, "Wow, that sounds impressive." But yeah, so Kim's like actually involved in. She's involved in a lot of other stuff. I think she's kind of selling herself short on that, but she's going to be able to talk us through kind of Crossroads, like what the intent is, how it works, what they're going through, maybe even a little bit about sort of the decisions that went into it and the goals that went through that the team are always wrestling with to get this experience to be as polished as we want.
Yeah, so like Mike was saying, Crossroads is a way to sort of dive in and immediately experience Project Spark. Like maybe you haven't made a game before, you're a little intimidated. You can see right now Henry's playing with the terrain. You can choose between 4 different kinds of terrain. And then you also have a lot of flexibility within those choices to play with these analog choice options here at the bottom. You can change the water height, you can change the river width, you can change the bumpiness of the terrain.
So one of the key things for Project Spark, like we showed, you being able to iterate really quickly and jump in and out, is it's really important for us that playing is creating. So just the act of creating is a fun thing to do. Making games and experimenting it. You know, when I think about like the loop that we talk about, it is really have an idea, experiment, and then try what you just did, and then have another idea, and then experiment. So Crossroads is a really good sort of synergy of all of that. It allows people to play, create, and you can do both of those things just by making choices. So Kim, talk about some of the land choices we have here, maybe in the shuffle, and you know, people haven't seen this in a long time. So even for those who have seen it before, like what's different and what's new?
So, if you haven't seen this in a long time, we have a lot more customization available to you. Like Henry was saying, we have a shuffle, so we have 4 different options. If you don't like the first 3, you can hit the X button to shuffle and see some of the others. And then you have a lot of flexibility, like with mountains, to change the mountain, the peak height, the valley height. You can change your water level.
So you think about the infinite possibilities here, right? Where you're not just picking from 3 choices. You get to really set a lot of things to really give the feel for whatever you're trying to create with your game experience.
All right, so I just picked hills. And now, right now, we only have this one choice in this build. We had an issue with some of the stuff in the build. So we've got the one choice forest. But as different biomes and things like that are added to the game, once we get things working again, as you may have seen yesterday in the World Wizard, we had desert in here already and stuff like that. So you'll be able to very quickly make tons of different choices just about the aesthetic look of your world.
And within these biomes, you have a few more options. You can change the shore height and the peak height, so you can get a little bit of snow in your world if you want.
I think I gotta go pretty low because I have low hills here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get too much of it.
Well, like you're on shore.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah, you may not get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Way to go, Henry.
Oh, look, snow.
Oh, there you go.
That's the other one. There we go.
Oh, sweet.
So we'll leave in our little patches of snow.
Good.
So after you make those choices, you see that you continually get different choices. And sometimes when you make a choice, it actually affects the next choice that is presented to you, or things that happen in the game. So it's a bunch of different like consequences and things that happen.
Yeah. The choices you make early on will have an effect on things later in the game. Right now, Henry is showing you the different times of day that you can pick between, and then also some of the color treatments, the visual filters that we have.
Henry, when you get a chance, can you just speak to the difference between this and World Wizard? Some people are asking, like...
Yeah, so World Wizard is about essentially filling in your world very quickly and getting jump-started with something that you want to create. We don't do a ton of work filling in like actual actions or tons of gameplay or things like that for you. It's just a really quick way to get jump-started into your creation. Crossroads is an actual experience. So you can see there's a narration that's going over it. It's about sort of telling your story and bringing that to life. And most importantly, you'll see as we go past some of these choices that are the same as World Wizard, you'll see all new ones. They're all gameplay focused. And actually the things you do while you're playing start to branch out and start to make your choices. So that's the big difference. Crossroads is a mode you play and you create while you play. World Wizard is a tool to help you get started on your creating. All right, so let's pick... stuff a day for this playthrough, and maybe we'll do another one where we do some different choices. I always love messing around with this, just messing with the sun angle. This is a great mode to really make you feel very sort of godlike, and that you can make really sweeping changes. We always like to bring up the brightness. The art group loves that. But you can see there's just a lot of power in some of these analog choices, because you can really put your own sort of spin or identity on what you want to build.
And just for anybody kind of joining in, so this is running on the this is the Windows 8. This is on a Windows 8 PC, Windows 8 with 8.1, of course. And this is actually a fresh build. This is this morning's or yesterday's build. So this is a new build, which is why some things are in, some things aren't. And he's using a Xbox 360 controller for the PC to control it. And of course, this will be on Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Windows 8. And it will have Smart Glass functionality on the Xbox One, but obviously Smart Glass is not required to play the game.
Except for Tuesdays.
Except for Tuesdays.
No, not even on Tuesdays. So this is something that's really cool, and where you start getting into the difference between the World Wizard and Crossroads.
So what you're looking at right now is you're defining the kind of game you want to make. Do you want to make a defense game?
I love that little dog.
Yeah.
Still trying to destroy that building.
He's working really hard at that.
Yeah.
Do you want to make more of an adventure? Do you want to make more of a resource gathering game? For this, we're going to pick adventure.
And as we've talked about, we're going to be adding lots and lots of stuff in the future. Different things will start to come in, and we want to eventually start, utilizing lots of different genres and different options there.
So this first choice you're making now for your adventure is where you want your hero to live. And each of these choices has some gameplay associated with it for you to discover.
So I love this part. Just moving it around the world and watching it react.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you can do stuff like here, there's some uneven terrain. I can just go ahead and I can put that down there, and it'll start to fill in.
That's cool.
Time for the square.
So the next choice is what's in the center of your town. Like, you're going to build out this village, but what is their most central, like, prized location? And it's like Henry's going for the well, and now you're picking your hero.
Okay, so this next part here is something we haven't talked about before. So, a lot of people have talked about, like, how many different ways are there into the game, or, how can I get into this, and maybe I don't want to just jump right into creation. So we've talked about things like you can go ahead and jump in and play other people's creations and other people's levels and stuff like that. But one of the cool things, in addition to just Crossroads in general, is Crossroads includes what we call champions. So champions are specific characters that we've created. They're entirely playable. They come with a bunch of skills, a bunch of properties, and different attributes. They have their own sort of personalities. They have a bit of a backstory. And you can play through Crossroads with these characters. You can use these characters to make your own creations and make your own kind of user-generated content. So you'll be able to take Scarlet, which is already a fully playable character with a bunch of cool skills, drop that into one of your creations, and just use that to get a head start. The other cool thing is a lot of people talk about things like, we call Carl's Nor Carl here, so everybody loves Carl.
They do.
So we talk about just being able to like see these game mechanics that we've already built and inspire people to build scenarios, adventures, challenges, and things like that off of these mechanics we've already made for you. And we want to make sure that people have a great experience from the get-go. They've got these cool playable characters. Now, this is just the beginning, just like everything else that we show you, and just like everything else with beta. These champions are going to evolve. We've got a ton of really cool stuff planned for these, and you'll see more of them.
Lots of cool stuff.
But it's a great way to just jump in and start playing. So let's see. We're going to go through both, but let's pick Scarlet for now.
Can you talk about the statue thing, or is that verbatim?
Yeah, so, I mean,
I thought it was cool when I heard it.
It's just a logistical thing, but essentially when you want to use a champion in your level, because they already have our gameplay built into them, instead of dropping in a character, you drop in this statue.
Right.
So it's just a differentiation.
So you drop in the
So
statue,
you're using our character.
and that means that this official character will now be in that level, which is, I think, is really cool. So
Yep. So maybe we can give you a quick overview of what everybody's seeing here on screen now that we're in the game part.
So the first thing you're seeing here, to your left is a question mark. That's going to be a building that you can create and decide what goes in your village.
What vision?
And you have a few different options here, all of which you can come back and visit later when you get more money.
Buns are certainly fresh.
Henry has chosen the bakery.
the bakery.
The bakery's always working hard. So each one of these choices you make affects your game, affects other choices. Here, because I picked the bakery, there's actually little power-ups that I can go here through the shop and buy for later on, so I can view their menu, ideally. So we've got a little bit of a floating text thing going on.
Yeah.
But you can see here that you can choose different things. We'll add different choices to the store as we go. So here's a power berry pie. And they do different little power-ups for you that affect your game.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, looks good, doesn't it? So some of the cool things about the champions is, like I said, they already have their own built-in gameplay. So here I can just push the X button, and it'll do a nice little auto-aim strike. I can push the Y button, and these are these little Caltrop power crystals that we call Codite. I can push the X button and hold it in and do a charge shot, or I can charge shot onto these little Codite crystals and shoot those things out at people. I can hit the B button, and I can do this little decoy move that enemies will get attracted to, and I can do things like sneak up behind them and get a different vantage point, or drop out of the battle. I have my little double jump move. I can jump and throw the caltrops in the air. I can jump and shoot in the air. So there's a bunch of little gameplay things that are already built in.
And tutorial for all this is on these little glowing signs here next to the dummies.
Now, keep in mind, again, another great thing about Crossroads is at any time you can go in here and you can create straight off of this. So you can edit anything you want, take these barrels out, scale things up, scale things down, manipulate the world in 3D, add your own brains, add your own visual programming to anything. So again, like, this is a great way, if you want, to start making your own game and start diving in.
Right, and you got all the structure here, so if you're like, I just want to change and have these guys say wacky stuff or, make up my own quest, you can do that instead of starting with a blank slate. Just jump in, use what's here, and go and create your world.
So here I've activated the sort of town mayor, the healer in this case, that starts off the next part of your quest. So Project Spark does use Connect. It uses this for several different things,
Damn it, I was
voice
just typing
commands
that.
and shortcuts. It uses it for bringing your own actions and your own motion capture. So you can record your own facial animations, full body animations and voice, and put them into the game as in-game animations or little cinematics and movies and cutscenes and all types of stuff.
Yeah, but it's not required, right? People ask about Connect, and I know a lot of times the press, you see that's a really kind of cool feature. So that's what gets a lot of press play. But the core game is what's going to be available on Win 8, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and that's really what we're doing here. That's just sort of an add-on that you get with the Xbox One, and a good reason to buy one.
So here I picked my enemies that are raiding our village, and this is sort of the introduction to combat and the beginning of your creation. So here these bandits are attacking our well.
Yeah.
And you can see our well's been poisoned. So I'm going to go ahead and take on these enemies. We're very aggressive right now.
Yeah.
And as I defeat the enemies, you can see they're dropping coins. So this was a little bit of a small sample, a preview, a little bit of an attack on our village. And they dropped some coins, and now I need to seek the healer for an update and see what the next part of my quest is. So as I hop into here and I make different choices, the bandits do different types of things, they have different types of gameplay, and they start affecting things. So now, this character is telling me, well, they've poisoned the well and we need something. So I can let the game choose randomly, or I can choose.
Yeah. Now this is another way for you to tell your own story and decide what it is that you're going to go look for.
So let's go after the mystery meat.
Yeah, I'm really curious how they're going to use the meat to fix the poisoned water.
That's true. So we will find it in the... So some of the things you can do if you want, you can go in and start editing your own dialogue and do different types of stuff. So here I'm choosing the sort of the location
The
where...
destination.
The destination.
Yeah.
So this is sort of where that choice culminates. So what's a good one here? So we go with the quarry?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go with the quarry. And then I can put this wherever I want. So I could put this really close and make something that's maybe quick and easier, or I can put this really far and I'll be able to do things like expand my world and things like that later on. So I'm going to put this down, and now we're doing some cool stuff.
So one of the questions in chat, they want to know, like, they're asking about their own questions, like how much of what is built here and what you have here is done with Project Spark? In other words, what are you doing here? What are they seeing here that they couldn't do themselves? Or could they actually create their own Crossroads of sorts?
Yeah, you could. I mean, we give you Crossroads so you can go in and remix it.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the most part, all of this stuff is created with the tools. So this is sort of a mode or a game created with Project Spark.
So what I'm hearing is that if people don't like Kim's Crossroads, they can make their own and try to make it better?
Yeah. And, you know, some of the things that we saw is it's a really nice... So, for example, if you go through this quickly, it's a really nice, quick way to get started in your own game and sort of peel back from there in, like, just a couple minutes. If you want to really dive into this, what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing my own path, and I can put that anywhere I want around the world. And I'm picking these little side quest question marks along the way, but I'm drawing this path in my game. And what's amazing is as Spark goes along the path, he's dropping in gameplay. So that could be little platform events, little puzzles that show up, these side quests that get activated, enemies just automatically generate and populate. So as you're doing this, your game is sort of unfolding in front of you, and you're able to manipulate. So where should we go here? So let's build some more town buildings, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm collecting coins. Those are automatically showing up. My health is automatically showing up. At any point, I have a little marker if I want to start kind of pointing the way. So here's a fun one. So this is the sheriff's office. And I fell through the world into the water.
That's a new one.
So this is one of the fun things that happens when you start to play live. So we probably will have to restart.
Well, you know, if these things didn't happen, people wouldn't think... They'd say, well, look, he's just running a video.
And if they didn't
Right.
happen, they may already
So
have
now
had the beta.
You really know it's live. One of the things that I wanted to say really quick, you know, Mike keeps saying this is Kim's Crossroads. There's a whole team of people working on Crossroads doing amazing work. This is by far not.
So let's do
Just-
River.
All right, so the credit goes to all those folks, but any blame goes right to Kim. Are we
Yeah,
okay with that?
That's how we do things.
That
here.
is how things go.
That is-
Say that's kind of the context of everything I say in this.
And our
series, so-
design rule is it doesn't matter whose idea it was, it's who pitched it the best.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, or who pitched it last.
sometimes that happens.
right. Or who pitched it on the right day when people are in the right mood?
All right, so maybe we'll go. Should we play maybe one of the filters here too? So I'll do morning, and then maybe we'll show.
Well, that's cool, yeah, because people were asking about that.
We'll
and
do
the difference in
morning,
that
and then
stuff.
maybe we'll do one of the filters after this.
Yeah,
All
earlier
right.
I was doing the kind of sepia filter. It's like playing in an old western.
So one of the things you'll see here is the world is sort of procedurally generated, so you'll get a little bit of a different world every time. And another cool thing here is I'm zipping through some of the choices to get us back where we were. Somebody said they liked the forest hut, so
You
we'll
should
put
do
that
that
down. You'll get little different things and different stuff will pop up based on the terrain, so we'll show you that when we draw the path. Pick the well again, because I want to know what happened to the well. Let's close it.
You should go talk to Squeaker.
Okay. All right, so I put the well down. We've got the healer here, so should I go there first or go to the healer?
Go over to your left here, or yeah, your left. Back a little bit more.
Went to our choice.
What do you envision?
Now I'm gonna have to pick. I can't decide.
Pawn shop? Why is there a
I'm
pawn
not
shop?
gonna do the sheriff's office again because I think we know what happened.
Let's
there.
not do the
So
sheriff's
let's do the
office.
workshop.
I just want to know why there's a pawn shop. Like, what are they pawning?
There's always,
You never know. Like, there's people in the town. They're
All right.
desperate.
All right, so
I
let's
guess,
talk.
wow.
So let's talk to this little guy here.
So this guy comes along with the treehouse, and if you like, he'll follow you and beat up all your enemies for you. It's actually pretty convenient as Scarlet because he'll sit there and tank for you, so you
That's
can
cool.
hit from a distance.
And there's a lot of little gameplay elements that by playing this over again and stuff like that, you'll see a lot of different types of things happen. You'll see new choices, and you'll see different sort of like reactions to what you've done or different things. So maybe we should try let's try the bandits again and keep consistent on our first playthrough because we might actually have enough time to go through this again. Yeah, because we started at 3:30 today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as you know.
Thanks, Mike.
So bandits being jerks, poisoning the well.
And each of the characters have their own little storyline too. Like the bandits will do something specific because it's the well, but they'll do something different when you make a different choice, right?
Yeah.
Let's get the caltrop. Wow. So there they are going
See?
after my little squirrel.
Squeaker's tanking for you.
I gotta win. I feel bad now. Don't kill the squirrel. You know, I have to say though, every time we use the squirrel to create, people are like, "Can you set it on fire? Can you make it explode?" I don't know what that's
We
all
did that
about.
on Tuesday's stream. We had to wait to a stream that Henry wasn't
Right.
on, and
All right.
Eddie did that.
So let's not pick the rotten meat this time. let's pick the potion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can make nonsense. You can make nonsense. Like
Yeah.
that's part of
Hey, it
the
all
idea
makes
around
sense
Project
somehow.
Spark. Is if you want to make nonsense, you can do that.
Treasure will lift your village's trouble.
And should we go with? Let's go with the.
Quarry.
Well, let's stay. with it.
Quarry's good.
All right.
I like
So we
the
put on this
waterfall.
little. So here's a good example of I'm going to put it in the water, and it's just going to work. I'm just going to put it down, and then what's really cool is, as I talked about before, the path sort of automatically does things for you. So I'm going to draw the path here over this, and it's just going to put in some little bridges for me, and a bunch of different types of stuff. And I didn't activate any side quests
You
because I
didn't.
epic failed.
You're gonna have to come back.
I am. So we'll have to do it again to show some of the side quests. So as I go through here,
Actually, maybe
maybe I can force activate them.
no. That's a building. Sorry.
So I can go through here, and I can put some more stuff down in the town.
A pawn shop?
We'll put the pawn shop since everybody's wondering what that was all about. So you can see here I can go ahead and I can sell items here. I can go over to this person. I can buy different items. I can upgrade my swords. I can upgrade my bow. I can upgrade my weapons as I go. So as I'm traveling around, you'll see these little teleporters. And the teleporters are sort of all over the world, and they'll bring you back to this little town. And I like to think about it a little bit like sort of like your hub in Diablo or something like that.
Right.
So anytime you want to go back to town and buy stuff, you can do that. Now I can follow this quick little path that I made, or I can go off the beaten path here, and I didn't
You
mean to do
actually
that.
totally should. You should.
And I can do some stuff like that. So here's this giant little explosion farm.
Would that say danger?
Yeah.
I might be able to put that into a fight if that ends up spawning or something like that, and have it like explode and work in my my encounter. Or here's a little teleporter. So for some reason we're not getting a ton of enemies around the path, but here's something fun. So here's a little wishing well that just happened to come up, and I can throw a coin in the well. Let's see what happens.
I haven't seen this.
Let's see. Ah.
Yeah, you're kind of cheap, so nothing happens.
All right. So I want to throw more in. Is what you're saying?
Well, dude, why you gotta hold back, man?
All right, all 5 coins.
It's a
You
spirit
actually-
of giving.
you don't
I'm
have-
doubling down.
That still may not be enough. Let's see.
I'm doubling down. All or nothing.
Well, maybe he'll get lucky.
All right, and let's see. Whoa, I got something. So I can either have it automatically give me a surprise, or I can pick something, which I do.
Yeah, let's see what wishes are available today.
All right, so let's see. So what could I want? Oh, a pile full of coins.
Oh wow! I
Alright.
would be at the well all day
So
throwing
there
in
we
coins.
go. So now I've got. So let's go
Yeah.
back to town,
Now you can buy anything you
and
want.
let's pick something up. So here you can see there's a B button prompt.
Oh, you got an acorn.
I picked up a little acorn, and there's a little quest where there's some lost squirrels and stuff like that, and
No,
there's
you're
some,
just roaming all around.
yeah, and there's some things where I can just throw acorns at them. So I can go back to town, and you know, if I would have lost, it would have went right back to the pawn shop because you know I would have had no money. So so the store's out of items right now. What else did we buy? Did we buy the workshop?
You did.
I think I might have put down the workshop.
You did,
That's
yeah.
a treehouse.
I think I put it over.
I just wonder what they were selling in the pawn shop. I mean, it's not like it's stereos.
Well, you never
or-
know. Don't you watch like that show on TV? So I can upgrade my ranger's bow for 10 coins and do an additional 30% damage. That seems like a pretty good deal. So let's pick that up. And then this guy's going to go ahead and he's going to make this little bow for me. And again, you can use some of this stuff and you can start using this as objectives and things like that, or getting some inspiration. And now for 15 coins, I can upgrade my bow again. But let's go ahead and let's take a flyer on that and see maybe what we can do next. So unfortunately, it looks like I made my path small, and we didn't get any enemies to drop. But as you drive this path around, little mini bosses can pop up, more bandits will pop up in the world, and different enemy types and stuff like that.
There'll also be some wandering NPCs with some story elements.
And you can see there's lots of little areas outside here to explore, and there'll be little quests and stuff that happen out there. But if at any time I want to go straight to my objective, I can hit the left trigger, and that'll always show me where my end goal is to sort of complete this quest.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Alright, so here I am on my way to the quarry, and let's see what happens now.
Which treasure will lift your village's
So we can have
Only some
few guards, some guards, or all the
A
guards.
lot of guards.
I upgraded my bow. Should I feel lucky?
You should go for it.
Alright, let's go for it. So I'm going to epic fail and lose here. Let's see. We've got some very angry bandit guards here guarding the quarry and the potion that we're looking for our quest. So my little squirrel buddy's hopping in. Let's throw down some of our caltrops, slow everybody down, do some cool attacks. The squirrel is freaking amazing at
Have you
decoying
played
these
this
guys.
before, Henry?
I have. So I can actually throw down my own decoy.
Oh, that is neat.
I start to get different kind of vantage.
So that's one of the
points,
abilities the
attract
champion
people.
has.
Whoa, this guy is aggressive.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
So again, you know, all of the stuff are things that you can go in and you can edit yourself. They were created with the tools that you can use to create your own stuff. And you know, this is obviously a build in progress, as you saw from our earlier bug. So again, there's a bunch of really cool things that you can do and you can modify and add to this
I love
stuff
that
yourself.
effect.
So this
The-
guy
the
here
dog.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this guy here is fighting a bunch of ranged characters. So you can see they've got a bit of a turret effect.
Whoa, you walked right into
Yeah.
that one.
Do another decoy. Pop over to here. Charge some of these caltrops. Let go a big shot, and there we go.
Nice.
All right, so I took down all the